Hey, so, the last video that I did, the 12th Street Rag, I hadn't realized how involved that was. It was fairly involved, a lot of little things throughout it, little techniques and things like that. Some kind of like weird fingering stuff. But anyway, so I was like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe for this video we'll just go to like plain old kind of pop song kind of a thing. So just kind of as I go about my week, whatever, I kind of just vaguely thinking of things, and all of a sudden I thought of this song, Space Oddity by David Bowie. And I was like, oh, that's a cool song. Like, yeah. Like with the F major 7 and the E minor thing, and it's like lots of C's and G's and F's and A and D and like, okay, yeah, fairly easy chords, things like that. Some of the timing is a little weird, but not bizarre. Just kind of like a little bit odd, but nothing like really out of the ordinary. So I was thinking, yeah, that's the song. So let's do it. As I was writing it out, I had no idea how complex the song was. Like I said, it's a lot of kind of easy chords, but then there's a lot of weird things happening within the chords that we could just gloss over, but it wouldn't sound quite as nice. Excuse me. Like an example, like a D with an F sharp in the bass. That's just a D chord. On a ukulele, you can't really do that with an F sharp in the bass. But then when I was playing the song and just playing a D, which with a lot of students, I'll say to them like, okay, you know, that's a little bit of a complex chord. With guitar usually. Just play a D, it's totally fine. And I was like, you know, with just a D it doesn't quite sound right. So I had to like rework. My point being, this ended up taking me like like probably 2 or 3 hours to write it all out. So I like wrote it all out. I don't know if you can see this. Wrote it all out in this like little notes with jotted how to play certain chords with little arrows, in little notations to make sure that I mention them to you, in things for some of the counting, in it just got like bigger and bigger, and but at that point I was like, okay, I'm already into it, my mind's made up, it's a really good song, I want to do it, so here we are, we're doing it. Excuse me. So if you have never heard the song before, check it out. It's a cool song. And like I said, for the most part, it's real simple. But then it has like some weird chords. Like it starts off with an F major 7, which I was playing around. I'm like, okay, well, that's an F. An F major 7 would have like the E in it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, so F major with an E added, well, that's the E string, so I'm like, okay, yeah, but now that's an A minor chord. Like, that doesn't work. So I had to come up with like some really weird kind of ways to play it, and it's a weird way to play it, but it's super easy. It's on this string here 5, and then on the next string 5, and then the E and the A string are just open. So it's 2 fingers. Like super easy, and it sounds really cool. I like it. So you'll hear in the context of the song. But then as I was playing, it occurred to me that the intonation on my ukulele is not as spot on as I would like it to be. So I thought we could talk about that first. And I know we're like, 10 minutes into the video, we still haven't done anything, but it is some information for you. Intonation is the how in tune all of the notes are on an instrument. And the problem is that here for Western music, what we listen to with the 12 notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the sharps and the flats, we took the frequencies, because that's what notes are. Pitches are just frequencies that we hear. So, like an A frequency could be 220 hertz, or 440 hertz, or 110 hertz. Those are three pitches that we would hear and label as an A note, the note A. So what people did was they took the frequency and divided it up into 12 segments. So you can kind of think of like the months in a year. You have a year and you divide it up into 12 segments. But you don't quite have all equal segments. Some months are 30 days, some are 31 days. One of them is 28 days, except every 4 years, then it's 29 days to make up for the slight not correctness of the 30 and 31 and 28 day months. So it's really kind of a mess, if you think about it. None of the months really line up very evenly at all. It's similar to notes on the ukulele, or any stringed instrument with frets. What they do is the frets are fixed. They just sit there. They do not move. That's what I mean by fixed. Then they don't move at all. This plastic piece here, or bone piece, whatever, is the nut. And it, again, does not move. The bridge piece down here, again, does not move. So nothing moves. So you tune the string to whatever note, and now all of those notes are what they are. You can't move anything. So, unfortunately, all of those notes are not in tune, kind of like the months in a year. None of them are quite equal. So, the way that they work this whole instrument, or any fretted stringed instrument, they basically, as terrible as this sounds, what they do is they try to make every note equally out of tune. So they're close enough. Because if they make any one note perfectly in tune, then other notes are going to be out of tune really badly, like really far out of tune. The human ear can hear, if a note is perfectly dead on either side, okay, it could be sharp or flat, and those little tiny amounts are called cents, like pennies, like coins, so cents. So the human ear, it's said, can't detect anything smaller than about 5 cents. So, as long as the notes are out of tune within that 5 cents kind of swing, then the human ear hears it as in tune. And throughout the many, many years, people have gotten used to hearing things slightly out of tune so that it doesn't bother people. Anyway, unfortunately, it bothers me. So as I was playing that F major 7 chord that I did, I was like, that sounds lovely. Except that note is out of tune, like kind of badly. So I did an old trick that I'm going to show you, because before we do this song, you need to make sure that you're really well in tune. Okay, so grab like a digital tuner or a cell phone app. There's one that I use, I forget what it's called, Sound Corset, SOUND-CORSET, Sound Corset. I use that, and it seems to work well. So, excuse me. So, make sure that you're really well in tune. Okay, but here's the trick that I do. Okay, this note, when this string is perfectly in tune, this note was flat, I believe. Yes, it was flat. It was flat by like, I think 8 or something cents. Enough that I could hear that it was flat. So what I did was I tuned this string slightly sharp. Just a couple of cents, so that when I played a C chord, it still sounds fine. Now that chord, the F major 7, the way I'm playing it, now sounded much more in tune. So what I'm trying to remember when I play this is to make sure that I press down extra hard on that note, because when you press down against the 2 frets, okay, if you think of the 2 frets like this and the string across them, when you push down really hard, you're actually raising the pitch a little bit by pushing the string and bending it and stretching it a little bit more. So when I play that chord, if I press down a little extra hard on that one note, now it sounds in tune enough. So that's a neat little trick. So anyway, let's get into Space Oddity. Finally. Alright, so Space Oddity. There's a bunch of different parts, and like we've done with some songs, videos that I've done, I've been like, I don't know what part this is. It's like a bridge, sort of, or this is like sort of a chorus, I guess. This doesn't really have a chorus. I'm not totally sure it has verses. It has like a few parts that come back in and out as we go, but whatever. So I ended up labeling them like I do a lot, just sort of labeling them what I label them. Like I have the bridge, and that's like the tin can part. When you listen to the song, you'll hear what I'm talking about. He sings about floating in a tin can, and that's sort of that part. But anyway, excuse me. It doesn't really matter what we call it. Okay, so the intro is F major 7 to an E minor. Okay, and an E minor, of course, you already know, starting from the G, 0, 4, 3, 2. In the F major 7 is the 5, 5, 0, 0 that we talked about with the tuning. And the strumming is kind of that rhythm. It's a very kind of loose strumming rhythm. I like David Bowie. I'm not like the world's hugest David Bowie fan, but I really like his stuff. Probably 20 some odd years ago, I went to see him play at the stadium over in Foxborough. Now I think it's Gillette or whatever, but whatever it was called at the time. One of the things I really like is his music. Again, although I'm not like the hugest fan ever, his music is what I think of as like really art. Like, it's really like artistic. It's neat. It's not just like, hey, this is a catchy little song and here we are. So back to the whole reason of that little side story. The strumming is very kind of loose and floaty, sort of like somebody floating in space, like an astronaut, which is kind of what this song is about. So it's just sort of that. And even the chords, like that F major 7, I tried some other versions of it, and this version has that sort of kind of airy, floaty sound to it. Which a major 7 chord tends to have anyway, but this version on the ukulele really kind of has that. This song was originally performed by him with mainly an acoustic guitar, and it's a little bit easier to get some of these chords on a guitar, which I think we've talked about before, because you have 6 strings, so you have more options. With ukulele, you just have limited 4 strings, a more limited choice. So anyway, that's the intro. Okay, then the chorus starts off with some real just basic stuff. It's C, E minor, C, E minor, A minor. Okay, so now this part, the A minor is 2 beats, the way I'm counting it. And then it's an A minor / G chord. And we can't do that on a ukulele because the lowest G that we have, pitch-wise, is that G from the G chord, or that string there. So that's the lowest G. So notes that are lower than that would be so there's kind of a lot of notes that are lower, and an A minor / G chord, any / chord, what it means is it's an A minor chord with the note G as the lowest note. So if we need to have the G as the lowest pitch, that means all of the rest of the chord, all of the notes have to be higher. We're already at the 3rd fret, and there's only one higher pitched string, and it's that one. So now we have to move that G to here, and that's the lowest we can get. It's the exact same pitch, but at least now it gives us 2 other strings to work with. But we need 3 notes to make an A minor chord, so we really end up with, you can't do it, it ends up sounding just not good, weird, because the higher up you get on a ukulele, the worse the intonation gets, which we had already talked about, we just talked about. And not only that, but then the higher up you get, the notes start to go plink. And they don't kind of ring out, they just go plank. So I had to kind of figure a workaround, And I came up with one that actually makes it super easy. So the A minor slash G, we could just do. So now we're adding that G note in. It's technically not an A minor slash G chord, but you know what? It works. It works totally fine. And I know that in the 12th Street Rag, we use that chord as a C. So that's a C. That's a C7. That would be a C6, if I'm thinking off the top of my head, yes. But it just kind of goes to show you that with the ukulele, with only 4 strings, we have to make some concessions. We have to make some, I can't think of the word, compromise, that's the word. We can't always have everything exactly how we want it. So in this case, it works, and it sounds good. So that part, the A minor, G. Then we have a D slash F sharp. And again, it didn't work as just a D. I had mentioned that. It didn't sound right. So I came up with a cool way to play it. Okay, it's really high up. Excuse me. And again, that's why we need to make sure that the notes are all really good. In the intonation thing, what you can do, what I did was I tested that string and tested that string and found that this string was a little bit out of tune one way, this string was a little bit out of tune the other way, but close enough that I could kind of trick myself into hearing them as correct. So you have to kind of play that note, tune it, play that note, tune it, and try to get them sort of within either side of perfectly in tune. So one of them slightly flat, one of them slightly sharp, but both of them close enough, instead of having one of them perfect and the other one way off, if that makes sense. The D slash F sharp, what I ended up with was 0, 6, 5, 5. Which I thought was pretty nice. So the verse ends up being C, E minor, C, E minor, A minor slash G, then the D slash F sharp. Yeah, close enough. So that's sort of a verse. Then there's that like liftoff section where it's like some weird sound effects and stuff, you know, dun 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 dun, whatever. You can just keep that D slash F sharp chord. Then the chorus, back to some pretty easy basic. So C, E7, F minor, which is 1 0 1 0. So F minor, C, F minor for 2 beats, C for 2 beats, F, and then repeats all that. So sort of the timing, and I said at the beginning of the video that it's not really like a huge thing, but just sort of be aware that things don't line up as 4. Okay, it's in 4/4 time, so the chords, like for the chorus, the C is 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. The E7, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's totally fine. and then the F minor is 2, and the C is 2. So of course 2 plus 2, 4. But the weird thing is the chorus is, if I count sort of the chords, it's 4 beats on a C, 4 beats on an E7, 4 beats on an F. 2 beats on an F minor and 2 beats on a C, which is 4 again. F, which is 4 again. F minor for 2 beats, C for 2 beats, which is 4 again. F, which is 4 again. 5, 6, 7. So there's like a measure missing. Just kind of weird how that like all works out. And when you listen to the song and even play it, once you get the hang of it, it doesn't sound like there's this wackiness going on. For the verse, it was 4, 4, 4, 4, 2 and 2 is 4, and then 4, which is 6. So then the next part is 7, and then the next part is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is 6.5, because there's a measure of just 2 beats. So it's kind of weird, but when you play it, it's not bad at all. So anyway, so that's the chorus. Okay. Then we have, or what I'm calling the chorus. Then we have the bridge part, which is the floating in a tin can part. And it's the F major 7 again. But now it goes to a G6. 0, 2, 0, 2. Repeats. G6. B flat, A minor, G, F, 2, 3, 4, and then the next part. So the reason I counted the F is because the B flat is 2 beats. If you go back and listen to the video that where I just played it, the B flat is 2 beats, the A minor is 2 beats, the G is 2 beats, and then the F is 4. So there's no additional 2 beats to match with that G all by itself. So that part that I just described is actually 10 beats long. Weird. And it's not counted 5 and 5. It's very clearly 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's very clearly in what I think of as in 4s, even though some of it's 2. 2 and 2 added together ends up to be 4. But there is that sort of 2 beat sitting there. Then we have the break. And the break, the timing for this is actually a little bit weird. But it's not too bad. We did it in 12th Street Rag, where it was the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of thing, where it's all 16th notes. That's what's happening here. But the chords are C, F, G, A, twice. Strums twice. Okay, so the break, I'm going to write it out not measure-wise, because it's all one measure the way I'm kind of counting this. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, I'm trying to like count in my head and play the chords and look cool, and I'm not succeeding. I don't think at any of them. But anyway, so 1, 2, something like that. So that's the rhythm of that part. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So is it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I'm not sure what the counting is. I don't know. If you need to know, just ask. But the rhythm of it, which I think is, you know, the easier, so it's dun 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 dun. So it's like that, you know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the counting. See, when I don't think about it, I know what I'm doing. When I think about it, that's when everything all falls apart. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, but anyway, so that's the break, and that's the part with the little clapping on the A. So, but you can't clap and play the A chord at the same time. So get a friend to help do the clap part. Okay, then we have the solo section, and sure enough, it's all different stuff. It starts with the F major 7. G6 that we already did, then an A/E chord, which I ended up with this. So, sorry, that. Is that right? Yeah. So, 4, 5, 4. Don't play that lowest string, the G, because that is incorrect. It's not part of this chord. Okay, but this way the E note right here is the lowest pitch. So this is an A/E chord technically correctly. A, C. Nope, it is totally. Okay. I thought I was missing a note, but nope, everything's good. So the F major 7, G6, the A/E, 4, 5, 4. Do not play that string. What I do is lightly touch it with the side of this finger. Don't press down on it. I'm pressing down on this. Lightly touch the side of it, and just for good measure, wrap my thumb around. So I can now go and strum all 4 strings, and that string isn't coming out. Then we have a C/G chord, which again the lowest G is here. Can't really do it, so just play a C. It sounds totally fine. Then a D add 9. This is a big stretch. The version that I came up with that would work, that sounds the best, is 2, 2, 2, 7. So you really have to stretch that pinky. Okay, and make sure that you're pressing down on all of these, so you end up with. And see how that higher note plinks a little bit? But, oh well. We're strumming, so it keeps plinking, so it comes out fine. Then the next chord is E, which actually, one of the reasons why I think this works well is we then move this up to the 4th fret. The pinky stays where it is. So you end up with this. Which I think sounds pretty neat. So that's the solo section. So F major 7, G6, the A/E, C, Then we have the chorus, which is exactly the same as we did before. Yeah, I'm just double checking everything. And then we have another part, and it is G, E, A minor, G, then the D slash F sharp dealy that we did before, which is that 0, 6, 5, 5, and then C, and then G. Okay, and that's the ground control to major tom. Your circuit's dead, there's something wrong. Can you hear me, major tom? Can you hear me, major tom? Can you hear me, major tom? And again, the timing comes out weird. It's 4, 4, well, 2 and 2, 2 and 2 for the first few chords, first 4 chords. And then 4, 4, and 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 5 measures. So we had 6 in one part, we had 7 in another part, we had 6.5 in another part. This part is 5 measures long. It's mayhem. But whatever. So we have the G, E, A minor, G, the D sharp, D, F sharp thing, C, G, and then we have that bridge part again, the tin can thing, and it is exactly as before. So that F major 7, and then the G6, 4 and 4, and then repeat 4 beats. Then the B flat, A minor, G, F, 2, 3, 4. So remember that F is 4. That's that 6.5 measure part. Then the break, the clapping part. Then we have the solo section again, which we already did. That. Then the C. Then the D add 9 thing. Then the E thing. And it ends just on the E. It sounds like in the song it's really like an E5 chord, which all that means is it's actually those top 2 strings. An E major chord, or an E minor chord. An E major chord is E, G sharp, B. An E minor chord is E, G, B. An E5 chord is just the E and the B. So it doesn't have that middle note, the G or the G sharp. So it doesn't have, it's not major or minor. It's just sort of an E5. So it's that little. It's a little bit hard to sort of play. You could totally get by with just the E chord. But actually, you know what? I'm just thinking about it now. I hadn't thought of this before. But playing it and hearing how the song goes in my head. If you play nothing on this string, mute it out like we did previous, and then 4, 4, and 7, that's an E5. And that totally sounds right. That note there, it's an E5, isn't it? Now I'm completely blanking out. I don't know, but that sounds right. No, that's an E major chord. No, it's an E5. I'm going with E5. Sorry about that. I'm blanking out because I've now been doing this for like, I don't know how long this video is, 40 minutes long, something. I'm going to go with that. So 4, 4, 7, and nothing on that string. So there we go. I will type everything out. I'm going to jot that down. It's 4, 4, 7, the E5. Okay, so there we go. Space Oddity by David Bowie. It's a really cool song. It's involved. I think for the next few videos I'm going to go with simpler stuff. Okay, I thought about it for a second. That last chord is not an E5. It's an E major chord that I was playing. The 4, 4, 7. I thought something was up when I committed to the E5. I was wrong. It's just an E major chord. It's actually an E major chord without the 5. Doesn't even have the 5. It's 2 E's and a G sharp. But nonetheless, it sounds good. I tried an E5 there, and on ukulele it's not really happening. So I'm going to go with that. It's an E, and I'm going to cross out the E5 that I had written because it doesn't quite sound right for ukulele. So that's about it. And yeah, we'll cross out the... Earlier we had a C/G, and we couldn't really do so, just a C. But anyway, there we are. Sorry.